fingers closed on the right, 5 fingers open on the left, invoking the presence of the sacred Elohim. To all of our visitors, please stand in a position that is comfortable for you and acknowledging our Creator. Everyone, please repeat after me. Allah.
Allah.
Father of the universe.
Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
My salvation.
My salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Islam family. Once again, welcome. Allah Musallan in Arabic to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I am Sheikh Rashid Bey, Chairman. We thank you for coming out and fellowshipping with us, demonstrating the manifestation of love in this creation, which we also know as Friday, our holy day. With that, we desire and we strive to become that beacon of light on the shores of salvation, shining that light to others that wish to make their situation better in the murky, on the dark, murky eclipse of the cares of the world. Islam?
Islam.
With that being said, let's get out the way the obvious. At this time, let us have a moment of silence for all that were lost this week. Islam? Islam family. We must keep in mind that we as Moorish Americans seek not to hold any malicious thoughts to anyone, regardless of their nationality, their creed, regardless of their walk of life, so on and so forth. Because in our Moorish Holy Quran, it says, when you crush an ant, you shake the very throne of Allah. Islam? All life is valuable because all life has been created by Allah. It has the spirit of Allah within it. Islam? Therefore, in the spirit, or with that in mind rather, today we are going to keep the vibrations raised. We're going to keep our frequencies high because we know and we are fully aware of the distress that our Asiatic brothers and sisters are going through this week and have been going through long before the Prophet has reintroduced to us our divine creed and nationality. Islam?
Islam.
I'm going to write a word on the board. Everyone say this word.
Power.
Say it again.
Power.
One more time.
Power.
Islam. The Prophet has a degree on power. He's given us a degree on power in our Moorish Holy Quran. At this time, we ask that everyone turn to chapter 7. Book should begin on page 15. The title of the chapter is The Friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Again, let me hear Islam when everybody has gotten in that chapter.
Islam.
Islam. It reads, among the priests of Jagannath was one who loved the Jewish boy. Lamas Brahmas was the name by which the priest was known. One day, as Jesus and Lamas walked alone in Plaza Jagannath, Lamont said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Jesus said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not." Islam?
Islam.
In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood, and falsehood, that which seems to be. Now, truth is aught and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. Falsehood is naught, and yet it is the manifest of right. For those of you all who are not familiar with the concept of aught and naught, aught simply means all or everything. Naught simply means nothing. We're on 7, line 7. Whatever has been made, it will be unmade. That which begins must end. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifest of aught, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflexes just happening, while the ethers vibrate so and so. And when the conditions change, they disappear. Islam?
Islam.
Better stop right there. Now, two things, or a few things, that have been revealed to us in this chapter. The concept of truth, the concept of the definition of truth, aught and naught, and the fact that these things are manifest. They're illusions. Things that are defined as truth are the things that will not change. We also know truth to be Allah. And we all know that Allah cannot be circumscribed. We all know things that represent truth. Case in point, who we are. We are the creations of Allah, are we not?
Yes.
Therefore, that is truth. We are love made manifest, are we not?
Islam.
Are we not?
Islam.
That is truth. So, if we recognize the things that are truth, what are the things that are falsehood? What are the things that will pass away? What are the things that are the illusions? Off the top of my head, we can think of all things that are considered material. Your vehicle, your home, currency, your finances, that chair that you're sitting in, the labels that have been put on us since 1779, Negro, black, and colored. Those are falsehoods. Those are illusions. But the key to understanding, or overstanding rather, those illusions is knowing that they will pass away. But now the question is, how will they pass away? How will they pass away when it's everywhere? When that concept continues to perpetuate itself, the concept of falsehood, the concept of the illusion of who we are, where we came from, our plight, our diaspora, so that our current conditions will disappear. Islam?
Islam.
It goes on line 10, is the holy breath is truth. The holy breath is that which was and is and evermore shall be. It cannot change or pass away. What is that holy breath? Say it louder, brother.
Spirit.
The Spirit. The Spirit of whom?
Allah.
Why is there only two brothers that know what the Spirit is? What is the Holy Breath? The Spirit of who?
Allah.
Islam. So therefore, this is an attribute, this is a concept, an entity that will never pass away. But the beautiful thing about it is that it's also the everlasting gospel. It is our saving power. If we go back to our keys in our Quran questions for Moorish Americans, also known as the 101s, it says that Noble Drew Ali is an angel. He is an angel sent to bring the everlasting gospel. And the everlasting gospel is the saving power that was given to us by Allah by way of our forefathers through a prophet, Islam. So we have that ability to save ourselves. But are we demonstrating that? That is the question. We're on 11. It says, Lamar said, you answer well. Now what is man? And Jesus said, man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh, so truth and falsehood are conjoined in him, and they strive, and naught goes down, and man as truth abides. Islam? So why is man, truth, and falsehood strangely mixed? Because man is the breath made manifest. But as long as we're the manifest, we're on the plane of things manifest. Therefore, we're on the plane of things that are passed away, that are the illusions, rather. Islam? So we recognize, with that being said, that eventually the nothing, the concept of us being Negro, black, and colored, will eventually pass away, while truth will abide. What is that truth? That context of man being the truth that will abide. When man reaches that deific life, when he becomes one with Allah, when he has purified himself and begin to practice the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice on a consistent basis. Islam? What do you say of power? And Jesus said, we're on 15, it is a manifest. It is the result of force, but it is not. It is illusion, nothing more. The force changes not, but the power changes as the ethers change. The force is the will of Allah and is omnipotent. And power is that will and manifest, directed by the breath. There is power in the winds. There is power in the waves. A power in the lightning stroke. A power in the human arm. A power in the eye. We all are familiar with those demonstrations of power just read. We all know of our mother and our father when we were younger, when we were doing things we weren't supposed to do. And our mother or our father or our grandmother, grandfather would only have to give us the eye and we would square up. We all are familiar with the power of the human arm. when we decided that we didn't want to listen, and our mothers and our fathers decided to take that discipline a little further, to be that proverbial hammer that drives home the truth. Islam? We all are familiar with the power of the lightning stroke. What is it that your mother or your grandmother used to tell you when it was a lightning storm? What did he used to tell you? To turn all what off? Turn the electricity off, because what's going on? Who's doing his work? Said Allah, the great God, is doing his work. So therefore there was a recognition of power. Islam? 18. The ethers cause these powers to be, and the thought of Elohim, of angel, man, or other thinking things directs the force. When it has done its work, the power is no more. Let us stop right there. Now, we've heard the definition of power by way of the prophet. But to further expound on that definition, I want to read some concepts. Power, generally speaking, is the ability to act or produce an effect. It's the possession, the control, and authority or influence over others. And then it goes on by saying that one having such power specifically in a sovereign state, in a controlling group and establishment. Then we go on to definition 3, where it says physical might, mental or moral efficacy, political or control or influence. And then we go on to a specific definition, and this is in a plural context. It says an order of angels. We have the order of angels that go as angels, archangels, principalities, powers, virtues, dominions, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. Islam? Then it goes on, because I want to touch bases on these angels, these thoughts of Allah that are known as powers or authorities. He said these are being warrior angels. They oppose evil spirits, especially those that make use of the matter in the universe. So they don't do as much harm to the world as otherwise. They're either usually casting or chaining evil spirits to detention places. They're usually represented as soldiers wearing full armor and helmet, and also having a defensive or offensive weapon such as shields, spears, etc. And it goes on by saying the primary duty of the powers is to supervise the movements of the heavenly bodies in order to ensure that the cosmos remains in order. Islam? It goes on, says that powers are the bearers of conscience and the keepers of history. They are also the warrior angels created to be completely loyal to Allah. Islam? So, with that being said, it's true, or it is evident, that we have that power. We have that potential. How do we know this? For one, we are creations of Allah. Therefore, we have that will. We have that holy breath, which brings about the saving power. Islam? And then, the Prophet goes on by telling us that come join the family of nations if you think your condition can be better. So the Prophet is asking you to take part in shaking up the ethers, in changing the ethers. by way of harnessing this force, the power. So with that being said, we must be mindful of how we exert that energy. We all know that in our spirits, we want some form of justice. But we also have to be mindful of what are we sacrificing during that concept of the frustration running around in our brains. Because all of us, all of our forefathers have been in a state of oppression, have been in a state of distress. The Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam had to retreat to Abyssinia or Ethiopia, to Mecca, to regroup, to develop and cultivate that will of Allah. Islam?
Islam.
So sometimes we have to take a look back, we have to take a step back and look at our situation.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And not look into things or make moves in haste. We have to look to our forefathers if we really want to study ourselves. Not just demonstrate the triumphs that we had, but also the tribulations and the transgressions. Demonstrate the acts of being a great power, but also knowing how to pick and choose your battles. Knowing when to yield. Knowing when to sit back and develop and accumulate allies. How many allies do we have? Honestly, I can count 0.
Go on, man. Come on, man.
Because we're so busy debating over who has the right knowledge. To this day.
Islam.
While we debating on what school of thought is correct, the gas prices are still $2.13, $1.99. Unemployment rate is still 9.6% in America. Education amongst the Asiatics are at its low. These are the conditions. These are what's going on in the ethers. And we see it. Or do we see it? Islam?
Islam.
We're on 19. Again, Lamas asked, of understanding, what do you have to say? And Jesus said, it is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of ought and not, of a naught part self, of falsehood and truth. It is the knowledge of the lower self, sensing the powers of man himself. Again, Lamas, of wisdom, what have you to say? And Jesus said, it is the consciousness that man is all, that Allah and man are one, that naught is naught, that power is but an illusion, that heaven and earth, the heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but in, which in the light of aught becomes the naught, and Allah is all.
Islam or?
Islam.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the most merciful. His only divine prophet, I meet you all once again in the North American National Base of Peace. Islam.
Islam.
I rise, giving all praises to Allah, Father of the universe, cherisher, sustainer of all the balanced universes. Give the highest honors to his prophet, Prophet Noble Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam.
Islam.
High as well to his forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey,
That's right.
founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, who did indeed warn and stir up the nations. Islam.
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 Give honors as well to the Moorish flag, the red flag, and the green 5-pointed star in the center. 5 points representing love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Islam.
Islam.
Give Give high honors as well to the American flag, also known as the Stars and Stripes. This flag exists as a constant reminder that the European owes you the Moors with compound interest. Islam?
Yes,
Giving honors to Noble Sheikh staff, Noble Vanguard staff for keeping the peace. Giving honors to you, the Eels and Bays, for without you there is no Moorish movement. Islam?
That's right.
How's everyone on the holy night?
Well.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Praise Allah for giving us a prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to offer us an institution that we may learn ourselves.
That's right.
Islam? Know thyself and thy Father God. Islam? Moses is a perpetual search that we're on, right, to remind us of our heritage, right, of our vast estate. Islam? We have fallen. We have fallen to an animal state, fallen to a bestial state. You know, until we admit that, we can't grow. Islam? The moment that you think you've arrived is when you fail. Islam? You must know the writings and the prophecies of your forefathers. If you don't, you have no roadmap. Right?
Right.
One scripture says, lean not to thine own understanding.
Right.
Islam? Because once you think you got it all figured out, you're setting yourself up for failure. Islam? Y'all alright to say?
Islam.
I feel the heaviness. I'm going to be, as you know, in the pattern of our brother Sheikh Charles Ranesi-El, I'm going to do some reading tonight.
Praise Allah. Let's read.
Bear with me. I know you all are tired. Y'all had long weeks, so on and so forth. But you come to the temple to hear the law.
That's right.
In ancient Israel, amongst our ancient Israelite forefathers, when the holy day came in, the Shabbat came in, you went to the tabernacle, to the tent, or to the temple to hear the priest demonstrate the law.
That's right.
Okay? Because by being in sync with the law, that's where our happiness comes from. Islam?
Islam.
We've been out of sync with the law for so long, we think we're happy with that. But how much happiness comes from being out of sync with law?
Wow.
Islam?
Yeah, Islam.
Drawing from chapter 2 in our Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm only going to demonstrate chapter 2 starting at verse 9 down to verse 11, which reads, and again chapter 2 is the education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zoan, Egypt. As you can see, this is dedicated to the sisters. Islam?
Islam.
Sisters, y'all don't know the role that y'all play in this movement
Go ahead, man.
and in this mission.
Go ahead.
Verse 9 says, Elihu and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby where they were wont to teach. Elihu said to Mary and Elizabeth, you may esteem yourselves thrice blessed, for you are the mothers of long-promised sons. Verse 11, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone,
That's right.
on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. Islam?
Islam.
Let me pose a question to the group.
Go ahead, Tree.
Y'all know the history of the Piscean record, that which we call Holy Bible, correct?
Yes, sir.
We grew up Christians, we grew up in the church, right?
Yes, sir.
We know the stories of this book. Islam?
Islam.
Despite your disdain for that book, in modern day, because you don't know what you want to read. In that record, in the time of Moses, right? What did Pharaoh do? Right? When he knew that a Messiah was on the way, or a prophet was on the way. Anybody know? Speak up. Kill the firstborn, what? Male or female? Firstborn males. Islam went throughout the land slaughtering male children. Come up to the time of Jesus. King Herod.
That's right, Mo. Teach.
He gathered his wise men together, right? They taught him of the prophecy, all right? That one was supposed to rise up in that day. What was the order that was given down?
That's right. Teach.
Anyone?
They should decree to kill
Slaughter all the
babies.
male children. Islam? Y'all heard of the
2
counterintelligence
years
program? COINTELPRO? Y'all heard of this?
Yes, sir.
What is the mission statement of the counterintelligence program? Speak up.
To neutralize I guess the future, you know what I'm saying, the children that have yet to be born.
Islam. To do what? They say, stop the rise of, in their language, of a black messiah who would unify and electrify the quote-unquote black community. But they use the word messiah. Islam?
Islam.
And this was a group or a program that they used to infiltrate groups, destabilize, neutralize, character assassinate. Character assassination didn't work, physically assassinate leaders. Islam
Wow.
is the COINTEL program alive today?
You better believe it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Is it called the counterintelligence program today? No. But its effects, its mission statement is very much still alive today. If there are any agents in here tonight from that program, you laugh. I don't know if y'all laughing. If there are any agents in here tonight, you know, document well. Make sure you get my name spelled right. Islam
Islam.
and welcome. Hear the message of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because there's something in it for you. Islam?
Islam.
But you must realize, sisters, all right, that they are out to kill your sons. Whether it's the son of your physical womb or these ones in here gathered here tonight, because they're all your sons. Islam?
Islam.
You notice most of these quote-unquote police shootings are happening to male children. Men being choked to death, shot in the streets. Islam? Shot in car stops. All right? Because they don't know where it's going to pop up at. All right? And there's been an enmity and a hatred between the European nations and your genealogy for thousands of years. This is not a new fight. Islam? You might have woken up to your consciousness in this day and time within the past 200 years, gauging that history and judging everything by a slave paradigm. All right? But this fight and these prospective enemies have been yours for thousands of years. Islam? I'd like to draw from Genesis chapter 3.
Go ahead.
I want to start at verse 15.
Cool of the day.
Islam, what? Talk about what they call Adam and Eve.
Go ahead.
Depending on your degree of understanding, that Adam and Eve could have been Asiatics, or that could have been Europeans, depending on your degree of understanding. Islam?
Islam.
Let's take for argument's sake that this is speaking of Adam and Eve as Asiatics. Islam? Let's start at verse 15. Okay? This is speaking about the woman and the serpent. It says, and I will put enmity. Anybody know that word? E-N-M-I-T-Y. E-N as in no. M as in more. I-T-Y. Enmity. Anybody know what that word enmity means? Hatred. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your posterity and her posterity. Her posterity shall tread your head underfoot, and you shall strike him in his heel. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children, and you shall be dependent on your husband, and he shall rule over you. And to Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow you shall eat the fruits of it in all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and ye shall eat the herb of the field. Thorns and thistles. What did they place upon the Nazarene's head? Thorns and thistles. It says, in the sweat of your face shall you eat bread until you return to the ground. Out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to the dust shall you return. So Adam called his wife's name Eve, which in the language is Hawa, because she was the mother of all living. And the Lord God made for Adam and his wife coats of skin and clothed them. Early on, when they were aware of their nudeness, they arranged for themselves fig leaves, little small aprons. Instead, the Most High clothed them fully. All right, and what he says, coats of skin and clothing. It says, then the Lord God said, behold, the man has become one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand to take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore, the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So the Lord God drove out man and placed at the east of the garden cherubim with a flaming sword, which turned every way to guard the path of the tree of life. Islam?
Islam.
Okay. So now we have a situation where we have a deceiver, an arch deceiver, who came to the woman and deceived her. Islam? Let's cut over to Revelation chapter 12. I'm going somewhere here.
Go ahead.
Y'all all right?
Take your time.
I need a favor real quick. Can I borrow 2 sisters? Can I borrow 2 sisters? Come forward. Man, I'll step one step over to the side. Yo, flank me. So much love. Y'all can step over a little bit. So much love. I mean that way. Sister's so loving. Stand on your square. Demonstrate the Bible. Slide. Chapter 12. Okay. I'll read it. You don't have to look. Chapter 12. And a great sign was seen in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another sign in heaven, and behold, there was a great fiery dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon their heads. These are the nations of the earth. Islam? And his tail cut off a third of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to be delivered, so as to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a male child who was to shepherd all the nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. See, these sisters' sons are designed and to be appointed to rule the nations.
That's right.
Islam?
Islam.
And the dragon is after her and her children. Islam? Says, and the woman fled to the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by God, the great God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, 1,260 days. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels fought, but did not prevail, neither was their place found any longer in heaven. The great dragon that was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, who deceived the whole world, and he was cast out on the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Prophet Nobles rather gives you a degree. Who are the descendants of Adam and Eve? Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. We have some of those mentioned right here in this verse. So for all y'all who want to throw out Bibles, the prophet is giving you degrees. Right? It says, and I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, now the deliverance and the power and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have been accomplished. For the accuser of our brethren who accused them before God day and night is cast down. And they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb. What does the Lamb represent in your Holy Quran? The Lord science to me. Specifically in your Quran. The Lamb represents the common people, does it not?
That's right.
And the lion represents the rulers of the rich. Islam says, and by the word of their testimony did they not spare themselves even unto death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down to you in his great wrath, because he knows that his time is short.
There you go. You try to get another.
See, why all this viciousness against you
That's right.
and your
That's
children,
right, Sheik.
sisters?
That's exactly right.
Because he knows his time is up.
Trying to get another 6,000 year rule.
Islam, but he's not going to get it
That's right.
because it's already been prophesied.
Right.
Islam. And when the dragon saw that he was cast down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to a son. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle. What nation is represented by the eagle? Come on, Americans. What nation is represented by the eagle? And it said, to the woman was given the 2 wings of the great eagle. Islam, the power of the degree of American nationality is going to be given to the woman. Islam, it says that she might fly in the presence of the serpent to the wilderness into her place where she would be nourished for years and months and days. Then the serpent sent a flood of water out of his mouth after the woman, so he might cause her to be swept away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the water which the dragon has spouted out of his mouth. That water that the serpent sent out is known as the cares of the world. The prophet gives you that degree on the front of your Quran questionnaire.
That's right.
The prophet's bringing you out of the cares of the world, sisters, humanity, and putting you on the dry rock of salvation. Islam?
Go ahead, man.
It says, but the earth, okay, I said that. Verse 17, and the dragon was enraged at the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her children who have kept the commandments of God and have kept the testimony of Jesus or justice. Islam?
Islam.
Give our sisters a round of applause. That's a deep round of applause. So here we see the scriptures tell you that there's a war that takes place, that's taking place. Islam? This is recorded in the book of Revelations, which no Christian reads. Y'all clear on that, right?
Yes, sir.
No Christian reads the book of Revelation. They're terrified of it. Because it talks about anyone who removes or adds to the prophecies of this book will have to incur all the plagues in the book. So they're like, we don't want to mess with it, so they leave it alone. Islam? Last scripture I want to demonstrate from the book of Malachi. Chapter 4.
Yes, sir.
Islam? We don't know that there's a hook inside what they're showing you every day.
That's right.
We don't know that. They're baiting you emotionally. There's a formula that they use, which is problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, you react, and then they provide the solution. Right now, what's the problem? Police shootings. What's the reaction? You name it. Dallas, right? What's the solution? Gun control. Martial law. FEMA camps. Islam? And how do we know that it was one of our brothers that responded like that? How do you know it wasn't one from their side that killed those cops? And I'm not trying to be radical or agitated. But when you research history and research who killed Patrice Lumumba and who killed Gaddafi and who killed, you see this is a serious game. See, they have ones on their payroll of all different kind of nationalities. See, they could probably, Allah forbid, pay one of you to kill a Moorish leader. I almost used myself, but I'm not going to put that on. Islam? Who killed Jesus? His own people. Islam? This is what they do. They hire you, put you on the payroll, and then this is the game. It's the thing is to redeem us. The Prophet Noble Drali redeemed us from that game. He put you on the outside. He put you on the law-making process of it. Because all this is right now is the enforcement of messed up laws that are on the books. That's all this is. The enforcement of black codes. And these ones that this is happening to are being judged and being enforced upon on that degree. Islam? All these ethers are thick in this world. It's tough. I know it. But y'all ain't got to be up here. Y'all don't see what I'm looking at right now. All right? It's difficult, and I know it. But y'all going to have to use your degrees. See, that's one thing. You can study the teachings of the More Science Temple of America all day long. But if you don't know the degrees behind them, it's worthless.
That's right. Man,
you just being able to recite it, it's not going to offer you any salvation.
no, sir.
It's not going to save you. It's not going to save our people. You got to be able to demonstrate the degree. You got to be able to put the Quran down and be the Quran. You got to be the walking Quran. There was a Sufi mystic back in the day named Ibn Arabi. He said, I read from the Quran of the universe. And I myself am the Quran. He said, I myself am Allah. I am the Prophet Muhammad. And you know they tried to kill him, of course, for saying that. Right? But you have to, what do you think if the record means when it says you have to be the message that you bring? When they asked Justice, when he came before the Royal Council, what message did you have to, what message did you have to bring us? He said, I am the message that I have to bring.
That's right.
Islam? This is what our people need. You gotta be the making and enforcing law aspect of this whole movement. And if you're not that, then we're just playing. Islam? Everything my brother Sheikh Charles Brown even said relative to gathering the people. Because without the people, you have no constituency.
Right.
Without a constituency, you don't get the attention of government. You're
right.
worthless to them.
Right.
Henry Kissinger, former U.S. Secretary of State, coined the term useless eaters. He used that in a speech. These ones are useless eaters. They consume but offer nothing to society. What do you produce?
Nothing.
What do you consume?
Everything.
From Jordans, chicken wings, Fendi, Movado, you name it, Burberry. They put it out, you wear it. Even down to some jeans called True Religion. You call yourself a Moorish American Muslim wearing some True Religion. Islam? This is the sin that must be removed from the earth. All right? And as much as we might, laugh to keep from crying, it's not a joke. And it's not a game. And we do have to get to work. And it's a day-to-day work. The assistant grand governor and I were musing on some ideals years ago. And we said, let's say the budget came through, set the More Science Temple of America, we got the community going everywhere. What is our day-to-day work? Example, a governor in the secular government has a job. He goes to his office and he has daily duties, 9 to 5 every day, or whatever respective schedule is. Right? We get our Moorish side of the government up. What is our duties every day to support that side of the government? What do we do? Has that ever been defined? Has that ever been talked about? Islam?
Islam.
You know it can't start late. Y'all ever been to City Hall? Anybody ever been to City Hall before?
Yes, sir.
Anybody ever been to City Hall early? Watch them open? It opened down to the second. 8:58, 8:59, 9 o'clock, they open the doors every day. It don't open 9:30. It don't open 11:30. It don't open when they decide to get there. Attend your meetings promptly. Prophet Noble Drali is getting you ready for government. But you don't even realize it. Islam?
Islam.
You have things in your possession that you don't even know what you have. It's not in the possession of things, but knowing how to use them. That's this one. Islam?
Islam.
So you have everything it takes to save a nation.
Take it and save yourself.
Take it and save yourselves. The prophet said, your way you want, your way you will have. But what? Your way won't work.
Go ahead.
It won't work. Is it working now?
And a brain freeze.
Our people are having it their way. Is it working? No. Death and mayhem. Islam? All right? And also two more. None of you in here, myself included, are wiser than Prophet of Islam.
No doubt.
None of us are. Okay? So if you think your way is better, I'm going to do it this way. At that point, you've already failed. And you're going to fail the people. Fall in. Find out what the chain of command is and fall in. Right? You know, in every government, there's a chain of command. You know, military, corporate governments, corporate structure, adopted military structure because it's efficient. Right? In corporate structure, there's the chain of command, CEO, VP, Islam, COO, board of directors, so on and so forth, right? Shareholders, right? Military, general, all the way down. All right? But more science of America, it doesn't have a chain of command
We don't
structure.
act like it.
Oh, let me guess, we're all equals, right?
Yes.
No, we're not.
Put your hand in Allah's own hand.
In Allah's way, and that's
You don't
it.
need no priest to intercede.
No. That's a misinterpretation of these things. If you come in and be taught, you'll learn that there is a hierarchical structure.
That's right.
Islam?
That you should
And orders
reverence.
are issued, those orders have to be followed. If not, the whole structure falls apart.
You should reverence.
Islam?
Leadership.
That's my chairman. Oh, there you go. That faithful Muslim right there. We've discussed some things relative to the structure of this temple. Things have to change in order for things to happen.
Islam, Sheikh.
Islam, I've empowered this more, all right, to make these changes. Islam, if this more asks something of you, more it came directly from me. He's not freestyling on his own. Islam,
Islam.
he is empowered to make law and enforce law.
That's right.
Islam,
Islam.
so I don't want to hear all this, you got a personal thing against Sheikh Rashid, you don't like him because that has nothing to do with this movement. If you caught in that, you demonstrate Asiatic Negro. Moorish Americans follow the chain of command, the lawful chain of command that comes down.
Islam, Sheikh.
Islam?
Islam.
So on Sunday, when this meeting takes place, I want to hear a favorable report. I don't want to hear no foolishness coming out of Sunday.
Go ahead, man.
Because we got work to do. Before we go out there to them people, we got to be right. If y'all know anything about me as Grand Governor of this temple, I don't play that going out there sideways stuff. We go out there, we going out there right. I'm here every day seeing those Europeans laboring to convert our people to Christianity. I see it every day. And you know what? There's a chain of command to what they do. Why it's efficient. You know what their church is called? I shouldn't do that, okay. Pause the camera. Islam? And they're demonstrating degrees on your people.
Really?
No doubt.
Break this out.
They'll surround our people. And our people are spooked out about Christianity. And we hear Jesus, you hear Jesus start crying. And they'll surround them and start praying for them, like once they give them ham sandwiches and Kool-Aid and so on and so forth. The next thing you know, they've won them over. And they're out here every day. And you have to ask, what are they? You're not in Buckhead trying to convert their people. Why are they over here? What is the interest? Islam? And when you research how the European militaries move, they always send the missionaries first. They always send the missionaries first. Because they know how you are and what spirituality is to you. It's the core of your being. You try to act now like religion don't mean nothing to you. I'm into science, I ain't into religion. Really? Explain your science to me. And you get to talk about reciprocity and divine order. Now, so you're talking religion, you just use another term. You don't say Allah no more, you say divine order. It's the same thing. You're too sophisticated for Allah, you say Ma'at. Okay, it's the same principle. You ain't being slick. We know what that is.
Islam.
Islam? All right? And they know this about you. And they use that against you. Islam? So if you know that about yourself and your brothers and sisters are what you are, why don't you go out there and teach them the truth about their nationality and birthright? And give them the truth about their divine creed. Islam? Tell them who Jesus really was. Do the Moors love Jesus?
Yes.
All right, we do. Tell them who Jesus was, that he was a woolly-haired olive tongue Canaanite. Tell them. Islam? So they can worship in their own image. That's the work you got to do. And then, if you do that, they might be able to hear what you got to say politically. Islam? Right now, you're not going to win them when they're under that European Christianity.
That's right.
It's not going to happen. That's why the prophet came bringing divine creed and nationality. Islam? There's a TV show I'd like y'all to watch. I don't advocate much that comes out of Hollywood. There's a show called Marco Polo. I would venture to say that if you don't like this show, you're probably not Muslim. And that's bold, I know. That's very bold, right? But when you watch it, and you see how your forefathers ran empires and government, it'll remind you of it. Islam? And the latest season, I don't want to take it. I'll give you everything. I'll give you the credits, the soundtrack, everything. But there's a section in there where they get to demonstrate the Catholic Church. And how they move, you get the chance to see how. Who saw the press conference today in Dallas? Who saw the Catholic priest get up there and demonstrate? And he's demonstrating, what does the word Catholic mean? Anybody know? The word Catholic means universal. They can speak in degrees where the information they're giving speaks to everybody in the room. Who did they learn that from?
That's right. That's right.
Demonstrating canon law. What's the word canon? There was a land called Canada, wasn't it? Does the Catholic priest dress like a European? No. The cardinals wear a long garment, usually black, with a red sash on, with something red on his head. He's dressed like you. He's imitating you, because you don't want to be yourself.
That's up. Wow.
And got Asiatic rulers all over the world on their knees crying. Fidel Castro, honest to that brother, is a powerful revolutionary leader. When I saw Pope John Paul go to Cuba, and I saw Fidel Castro get on his knees and kiss his ring, I knew, yeah, you made that revolutionary. Islam?
Islam.
All right, with respect to that. All right? So I'm saying all this to say you got work to do. You got the keys. That's going to be our message. We're going to hit you upside the head with that one every week until you realize it. You have the keys to civilization. Until you decide to open the locked doors, the doors will remain locked, and our people continue to get massacred. Islam?
That's right.
Let's do what we got to do. Let's get in the government.
Let's get in there, Morris.
Islam? Be real. How many people in here are registered to vote? Not enough hands. Islam?
Islam, man.
Be registered to vote. Let's get our people registered to vote. Let's find out the process where we can turn the temple into a voting of registration.
That's easy.
To get our people registered. Zays and Sheikh, we need to demonstrate those degrees. Islam?
Islam.
All right? But Morris, I'm not gonna burden you. I see you all yawning. You've all had long days. Thank you for your time. Islam?
Islam.
Thank you for your diligence. Thank you for traveling. We got Moors and travel from Douglasville, Latonia, all these different long ways to come hear the words of the prophet. Praise Allah. Islam?
Islam.
Take this message back to your prospective areas and raise the people. All right? Start thinking in terms of districts. All right? Because your vote only matters in the district that you live in. Islam? So that means if you don't live in District 12, you got to go back to the district that you're in and do the work. Raise the people there. Islam?
We can get around it.
With that, I'll lower me. Y'all all right?
Islam.
Praise Allah. It says, "For behold, the days are coming when my anger shall burn as an oven, and all the wicked and all who do iniquity shall be stubble. And that day that comes shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. For you who revere my name, shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wings. And you shall go forth and leap for joy like calves of the herd." And that Son of Righteousness is the word S-U-N, son, not S-O-N. Islam? These are some of the hottest days on record. Y'all know today with the humidity at 12 o'clock noon, it was 100 degrees. With all these shootings and so on and so forth, you also have people dying from heat strokes, so on and so forth. Islam?
Islam.
But you have to realize that heat, by burning like an oven, see, that feeds you. That feeds your melanin. You get stronger in that weather. Islam? It says, "And you shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be as ashes under the soles of your feet. In that day I shall do this, says the Lord of hosts. Remember the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded to him in Horeb for all of Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to the fathers, before I come and smite the earth to ruin. Islam?
Islam.
And it's turning the hearts of the fathers to the children, because our communities are in shambles, are they not? Let me ask you this. If men, not males, men, if men were in place, knowing themselves and their father God Allah, would our communities be in shambles?
Nope.
If wise men of the East were in place, standing up strong as pillars in the community, would our communities be in shambles? Why? What does a man do? What is a man? Did the Prophet Noble Riley give you the degree of a man? Moors are men. What?
Upright, independent, and fearless.
Who do what? Care for their loved ones and follow who?
Prophet.
To what?
To a
That's
destination.
That is what? Not uncertain nor unknown. For the camera. That was Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the Prophet to a destiny that is not uncertain nor unknown. Islam?
Islam.
That is the degree of a man. That is what men do. Islam? If men are not pillars of the community. See, you know, in this same record, it talks about a temple called the Temple of Solomon. Right? And it says, at the Temple of Solomon, there was a courtyard, and there were stairs, and then there was a doorway. And on either side of that doorway, there were two pillars. Right?
That's right.
One named Yakin, and another one named Boaz. One means strength, one means that which was firm. Islam, that's what a man is supposed to represent in the community, strength. That which is upright. Where is that example in our communities? Where is it to be seen? And if these ones were in place, when things like this happen, these ones would know what to do. But all this mess running around with people not knowing what to do, when our babies are getting slaughtered in the streets, goes to show men are not in place. Men are not knowing what they need to know. Islam? And if the men are not in place, what are the women going to support? What are the women going to back up? What are the women going to invest their time in? There's no man present to inspire, to assist and guide them. Islam? See, one thing the European nations did was remove gender roles. They had a song years ago, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do everything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can.
Right.
We don't come from that.
That's right, Mo.
Islam?
Islam.
One of the things the Prophet gave us back was gender roles in Act 7 of our divine constitution.
That's right.
Husband, you must. Wife, you must.
Right.
Sons and daughters must. Everybody has a role to play. I can't give birth to a child.
That's right.
I have a low threshold of pain. I get a splinter, that's my day. I get a migraine headache, my day is over with. These sisters develop life in their body, carry for 9 months. Islam?
Islam.
Travail for childbirth and give birth to it, and then gotta raise it. Islam? So Allah gave y'all that as a phenomenal gift. Islam? And brothers, y'all have to be willing to give your life for that.
That's right.
At the drop of a dime. That is a phenomenal gift, because that means you're borderline psycho. To be willing to give your life up at the drop of a dime for somebody worth it now. Don't do that for just Islam. But that's what we're called to do. Islam. And if we just listen to our prophet and fall back in to our forefathers' laws and prophecies, the statutes and judgments, we'll know what to do. You know, it is a travesty. You know, we're the more science people of America feel for those on both sides of the war who are losing their lives. Islam, we feel sorry for those officers, as well as the Asiatics who are getting murdered. You know, it's in nobody's better interest because all of them have families. Islam,
Islam.
we're not demonstrating the hate degree, right? However, today on the news, there's a congressman out of Dallas, Texas, Representative Pete Sessions, who made a statement today. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said that federal and state governments cannot handle these issues that are going on in these communities. Can't. It's too much. Too many minuscule issues popping up all at once, and they can't regulate all of that. So what he said is, we need the help from the community leaders on the ground. Sheiks.
That's right.
He was talking directly to you.
That's right.
But do you know who he's talking to? Moors.
That's right.
Islam.
Islam.
Because don't just put it on the sheiks. More every L and day in your prospective area. When you separating to the world, remembering the relation that binds you to love and unity. Each one of you is a community leader in a certain respect. Islam? So the federal government is telling you, the lawmakers, and he made this statement in the state capitol building, okay, that he needs help from the community leaders on the ground to help solve these things. Okay? I ain't talking about picking up no weapons. There's a season for everything, but trust me, this ain't that season for that. Trust me, it's not. Islam? It's a season for you to stop playing, stop demonstrating an ostrich. Get your head out the sand.
That's right, Mo.
Lift your head up and take on the yoke that was placed upon you.
Come on, take more
You can
time.
carry it out. You were designed to do this work. Islam?